Greetings, Fremont family. This is Pete Montgomery, and I'm one of the elders at church, coming with you today with the devotional on 2 John. This morning, recording this on Sunday, when I came to church, I ran into Pastor Dave Pack, who looked at me like, "Hey, where's your devotional?" And I said, "What? Is that tomorrow?" He said, "Yeah, it's supposed to run tomorrow." Isn't that typical of kind of what happens this time of year? Work gets busy as you approach the holidays. You got to buy some gifts. School's wrapping up with kids in finals, or whatever your different distraction is. We tend to lose sight of being in the Word or remembering what we are celebrating during the season. And then I sat down for the sermon. That's exactly what one of Pastor Burke's messages was. So I felt very convicted today. And I just wanted to hope for the remainder of this holiday season, we can use these devotionals as a way to spend some time in the Word, thinking about what we're celebrating this season as we celebrate the birth of Jesus. Now, 2 John is the shortest book in the New Testament. Only has 13 verses. I'm going to focus on 3 of them here as we study the Word. Some powerful theology, which goes along a lot of the same themes that John has talked about, in his main book. I want us to look at predominantly 2 John 3 through 6, and it says, "Grace, mercy, and peace from God the Father and from Jesus Christ, the Father's Son, will be with us in truth and love. It has given me great joy to find some of your children walking in the truth, just as the Father commanded us. And now, dear lady, I am not writing you a new command, but one we have had from the beginning. I ask that we love one another. And this is love, that we walk in obedience to his commands. As you have heard from the beginning, his command is that you walk in love." Now, there are a few things that I really wanted to look at in those 3 verses, things that are great reminders that we hear repeated over and over in the New Testament, but also truths that we should be focusing on in our daily lives. The first part I really wanted to that stood out to me, that I've just repeated over and over again as I've read this verse today, is verse 3. Because it doesn't say that grace, mercy, and love from God the Father and from Jesus Christ can be with us. It says it will be with us. This is one of the promises of the gospel. Grace, mercy, and peace from God the Father and from Jesus Christ, the Father's Son, will be with us in truth and love. John goes on to talk about what that means. What does truth and love in this context, in the context of God's commands, mean? It's clear from a lot of the teachings in the Bible that love is it's not an emotional love that God is talking about. He goes on to define this love as an obedience to God's command. Love is an active walk. We walk in truth and love. So we walk in this, we are active in it, and they go hand in hand. And I don't know about you, but in today's society, isn't it comforting to know in the Bible from our Father that it defines what the truth is? Today we read a lot about live your own truth, or everyone has their own truth. What a difficult that world must be to navigate with changing societal norms. But we can go to the book and know that we know what the truth is. We have the truth. And as it says in the first verse, the second verse, because of the truth which lives in us and will be with us forever. I encourage us to just spend some time today as you listen to this devotional, and then afterwards to just read these 13 verses. Maybe read them to a friend, read them to a loved one, read them to someone. The book at the end of 2 John goes on to talk about kind of false teachers who may come and deceivers who try and lead us astray from the truth and the love. And I think a lot of times we tend to dismiss this because, we don't see, like in the early church, individuals coming in or teachers coming in and trying to convince us that the word is not true, or that we need to do certain sacrifices or not eat certain food, or whatever the deception might be. But isn't those false teachers and that deception, couldn't it just come from social media or, our peer group or society or celebrities or whoever it might be? But when we go back to the word and the truth and the love, then we set our sights on Jesus. I hope we can all take some time this week to really use these devotionals again as a way to be in the Word, to remember the reason that we are celebrating this season, and walk in truth and walk in love. Thank you. Have a great day.